in our yoga sequence, we are going to discuss the trident of the heel, or the four corners of the foot. I'd like you to gather a towel, and also you might want to be near a wall today that you can hold on to for your practice, so that you can really help anchor the feet in a couple of the poses here today. Having the towel, if you have it in the lengthwise, you're going to fold the towel in half, like so. Then having those edges, just start to roll those edges down. You don't need to go all the way. Actually, go ahead and go all the way, because we're going to use it one other way before we need to decrease some of the girth of this towel. So just have that close by and ready, all rolled up and beside your mat. It's ready to go. So talking about the four corners of the feet today, let's go ahead and get started. Join me at the front of your mat. You are going to start in Tadasana, equal standing mountain pose. And I'd like you to just take a moment to close your eyes. I promise I'm not doing any crazy dances over here. Close your eyes and make sure that your sits bones and heels are in alignment, that you feel as if you have those two strong pillars of legs. The hands can be relaxed by your side, or perhaps you go ahead and stretch those palms and fingertips reaching towards the floor, palms facing towards the wall in front of you, if you will. No need to touch it. We're just having energized jazz hands, if you will. And I'd like you to bring your attention to your heels as you're standing there, sits bones width apart. And imagine that you are feeling the center of the heel. And if you can imagine a trident, that three-pronged fork going down through the Achilles tendon as the center. And then there's a prong going over the outside edge of your ankle and the inside edge of your ankle. And see if you can kiss all three prongs of each heel to the floor. Take a deep breath in and out. And now as you stand here breathing, feel that channel of energy come up through your legs. Maybe you lift all 10 toes, still staying in that trident of the heel. Just reach the toes up and then typewriter them back down. Just peel them back to the earth. Imagining each toe print imprinting itself upon the sand beneath your feet. And keeping that breath moving, perhaps you start to feel that channel of energy bring its light up through your legs and lift the kneecaps, all four corners of your kneecaps, feeling those quads engage and energy come up through the thighs and legs into the hips, standing tall like a proud mountain, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And now from here, reaching your hands up overhead on your inhale. On your exhale, fold the body forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. On your inhale, you may halfway rise, perhaps your hands come to the shins. Perhaps your hands come to your back and you can really project the heart forward and pull the elbows back if that helps you find your long spine. And then exhale, we fold again. Inhale, rise all the way up, hands touch overhead, and exhale, come back down through center with the hands. Now here, transitioning to feeling those feet even more, I'd like you to just heel toe your feet a slight smidgen close to each other. And then I'd like you to lift those 10 toes, heels planted into the floor. Lift the 10 toes, spread them back down, and see if you can get those big toes to spread even further away from your second toes. Almost like they're trying to reach into each other to give each other a kiss. Now, from there, we're going to awaken the center arch of the foot, knowing that the arches speak to the pelvic floor, the diaphragm of the pelvis, into the diaphragm of the ribs, even into the diaphragm of the throat and into the head. Pressing that big toe print into your mat. See if you can be heavier in the outside heel edges. Feeling that diagonal pull and lift of the inner arch. Try not to grip with your 4 toes, keeping those big toes pressing. Take a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now from here, inhale, reach the hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Now, take this opportunity to reach over, grab your towel, and it should be in this long burrito. I'd like you to fold that burrito in half, like so. Look like a smushed U. And if you have a yoga block, you could be using it here as well. In fact, it gives you more density, but for now, the towel works. So we're gonna place the towel between, and I like to have the loop at the top closest to my toes because it gives more feedback. But you want it to be thick between the feet. And then you're gonna kind of smush it down in there and squeeze those toes, and your feet should be parallel. So inside rails of the feet are like 2 train tracks, no zigzags. And we're squeezing that towel. We'll take a deep breath in, halfway rise. Exhale, fold all the way. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Now staying here in Samasthiti, let's squeeze into the big toes, press into the outer heels, spread the toes. Big toes are squeezing, the rest of the toes are spreading. Try not to grip, just lifting the arch, feeling that energy up through the legs, trying to squeeze the towel between our feet. You feel the power of your legs? You should. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Now staying here in this gentle squeeze, press the toes in a little bit tighter, trying not to go under the towel, but still squeezing into the density of the towel. And here, we'll bring the hands up overhead and settle our hips into Utkatasana, chair. Keep squeezing into those big toes, pressing those prints into the floor, pressing into the outer edge of the heel. Now here you may feel the pelvis almost stretching between sits bone to sits bone, that perineum area. Breathe there. Nice deep breaths. Making sure your ribs are tucked into their core, not flaring out forward. Take another deep breath in and let it go. Inhale, rising up, and exhale, flowing down through. Take the towel away from your feet and go ahead and unroll it slightly. So we took the U out of it, it's lengthwise again, but instead of rolling it all the way to the edge, I'm going to uncurl it a little bit. So there's about this much of a lip, a few inches, and then a little bit of a roll. So 3/4 maybe of the towel rolled. And you'll just place it there at the end of your mat. And here's where you're gonna wanna have a wall handy, but it's not necessary. If you don't have a wall, you're gonna focus more on the halfway rise. So while you're still down here in a forward fold, take your feet, place it over the towel roll so that the heart of your arch is on the towel. And you're about sits bones width apart still. Now from there, make sure that the big toe base of each foot, the pinky toe base of each foot are touching on the other side of the roll. So they're not on the roll, but kind of sealing the roll. And likewise for your inside and outside heel edges. So it'll really feel like you're getting an arch support. Now, if you have a wall handy, you're gonna inhale, halfway rise, and you're gonna press your hands against the wall. And then while you're there, allow your body to look down and start to read your feet, because our feet are amazing communicators of what is happening at our knees and at our hips. And currently right now, I just have my hands on my thighs. The wall's a little too far for me outside of the camera frame, but I'm sending those sits bones back. I'm pressing into my thighs here a little bit to straighten the spine, keeping my ears out of my shoulders. And I'm going to look down, and as I breathe, staying equally weighted between toe bases and heels, I'm going to uncurl any wrinkles in my 4 toes. And as my weight starts to suddenly shift, I'm going to notice any changes in my arches. I'm going to notice if I want to come off of a corner of my foot more than the other. I'm going to notice if my knees like to react or bobble about, what my quads like to do. Are they high and lifted up, or are they feeling a little sloshy? And take another deep breath in. So if you're connected to the wall, it's like a wall dog. It should feel like a downward facing dog, but you are pressing into the wall. Otherwise, it's a halfway rise. One more deep breath in and deep breath out. Go ahead and bring your body down. Bend the knees. Take a little moment here to relax. From here, I'd like you to take your left foot back and pivot turn. Good. Or whatever foot actually has you facing the camera, so you can at least see this first side, okay? And then pivot around and up to Warrior Two. Now, Warrior Two is a lovely place to be, and here again, we're paying attention to what's happening between the front and back foot. So in our Warrior Two, our back foot's usually parallel, and our front foot is perpendicular, or with the long edge of the mat, it's parallel, right? And that front heel is slicing right back through the energetic line of the back arch. And we're pressing the floor down with our hands, and we sink into that front hip. And this foot on the towel, I want to try to keep connected into, once again, big toe base and inner edge. So on that front foot, we do want the inner edge connecting deeper, the inner edge of the heel. On the back foot, we want the back edge and pinky edge of the heel. And now we're going to send this into our triangle and feel how the feet speak, because we know that especially our lateral toes, or the pinky toe, those smaller toes on the edges, they can kind of direct our tailbone. We're going to try it out in a couple of poses here. So bring your back foot in slightly, and then I want you to angle it about 20 degrees in. So kind of send the heel out, toes slightly in. And then from there, straighten your front leg. And we're going to set up for Utthita Trikonasana. So here I'm going to send my hips back, like I'm trying to press back. You're going to feel a beautiful stretch in the front thigh. And then slice those arms forward. Remember, if you saw the last video, in honor of my pilot father, we're not going to bring in the plane crazy. We're going to glide in for landing. And then bring that hand down. And then your back leg has that matching high arm. Now here we bring attention to the feet once more. So if we think about our front foot, come into the front and inside heel over that towel roll. And in the back foot, think about slicing heavy into the outside edge of your heel. So we're playing with different parts of that 3-prong ankle. Knowing that that little change can really help our tailbone find the alignment of our spine. And then go ahead and come on up. Now, we're going to take this into half moon pose, but you might find that this towel roll really plays around with your balance. So go ahead, give yourself a bend to the front knee, and then I'd like you to pop off of that towel roll. Now from here, keep that wall handy if it's helpful, wherever it might be around you. And know that you can always make this small, because really what we're going to focus on is the back foot playing around as the rudder of your ship. So bend to that front leg. Good. Maybe we pinwheel down, find the floor. Maybe that towel roll is handy there because it's just a little bit higher. Maybe you even pump up your towel a little bit, fold it, whatever you need to do to give it a little bit more height so it can help you start to bring your weight into your front foot. And then as you do, start to press the floor away under that front foot. Now, let that back foot dangle for just a hot second. And feel that you can spread the toes of your standing foot and anchor in those 4 corners again. Big toe base, little toe base, inside and outside rails of the heels. Now flex your back foot, but then press through the toes like you've just put on a Barbie shoe and spread those toes. So now that pinky toe is going to talk to your tailbone, if you will. And start to pivot the hips towards the camera, towards me. And keep stretching those toes, stretch that Barbie foot. Now, maybe you can bring that hand to your hip. And And think about stretching those toes in that Barbie shoe. Sorry fellas if you're playing along, but put your stilettos on, press to the toe bases, spread the toes. It's not a heel strike, it can be, but today we're playing with the toes. And then go ahead and float that foot down, let it touch the floor. Come on up, reverse that warrior for a moment. Take that stretch to the side. It was working really hard. Inflection to hold you steady. Come back to warrior two. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Go ahead and pinwheel all the way back around to the floor. Good. And for a moment, let those hands rest right on top of the towel. Take the feet back. You go ahead and give me some prancing and stretching out those feet and ankles. And see if you can get all 10 toes to really spread and stretch as you prance through your plank. And if planks are hard, you can always touch down on that knee, spread and stretch the feet, touch down on the knee. And now we're gonna take it back to a little dog and walk ourselves forward. Good. Inhale, come all the way up. Take a big breath. Exhale, sigh it away. Let's try that on the other side. Now, for camera purposes, I'm gonna flip around so I don't have my back into you, but you can stay right where you are. I'll talk you through. I want you to stay near that wall if that's what you need, okay? So from here, coming back onto our towel roll, spreading all of those toes, coming into the other arch. Feet are only hip distance apart and maybe even more narrow. Spread the toes. Inhale, lifting up through the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise and stay. Here again, look at your feet. So now that you've done a side, maybe you can see some changes in the arch. Maybe you can't. It takes a while sometimes to be a student of your feet. Can you spread your toes and typewriter them? Are your knees high and lifted up? Can you keep squaring your heels? And if nothing else, you're getting a really great stretch through those arches. Good. Again, you can press your hands into the wall if it's available, taking that wall dog. And then from here, give me a forward fold. Now, take that other foot back, pivot turn, and pinwheel around up into warrior two. Nice and steady. And here again, spreading those toes, feeling the towel support your arch, pressing into the pinky edge of your back foot, into that outside heel, and to the front, or I should say inner heel of your front foot. And then from there, setting up for Trikonasana, bring that back foot in just slightly, pivot those toes at about 20 degrees, send that heel out, and then straighten your front leg. And here, we send the hips back, we send the arms forward, we take the hand down, maybe just to the thigh, maybe to the shin, maybe to the floor. Avoid the knee itself. And here, become a student of your feet again. Taking a nice deep breath in and out. Are you settling or rooting into the inside heel of your front foot and the outside edge of your back foot? And then looking at the thumb for your dristi, breathing in and breathing out. On your next inhale, go ahead and rise on up. Bend to that front leg, take a little reverse. And then pivot all the way around. I didn't forget half moon, but I do want you to pop off of that towel. Now from here, we're already down here, so the hard part's over. Let's go ahead and stay. And let's explore this other side. So hands can be on the towel. Again, you can fold the towel and give it a little bit more boost here. But I like to shift my weight forward so that my back foot can start to just kind of tap. I know my front foot has me. And then my front leg can send the earth away, which lifts and elevates my hips. And that hand is best suited on the floor. If you don't have great balance, it gets a little trickier when you come up here. Okay, so stay connected to the earth as much as possible. You can always bend your front knee if you need to, because right now we really just want to focus on opening the hip. So put on that stiletto of that back foot so we can strike through the heel, but then reach the toe bases and spread those toes, and then open up that hip. And if it's available to you, you can straighten your ground leg. If it's not, no worries. And we breathe. And maybe you can reach the arm. Again, if it sets you off, just bring it back into center. It's all right. And then bending into your front leg, floating into your back leg, coming all the way back up. Reverse that warrior. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Beautiful. You're going to come back around to the floor. But this time, we're going to come all the way down. So hands to the towel, feet back into your plank. Come to your knees and come back to Balasana, but keep the toes flexed under. And stay there for me. Now, if you've been in my class at all in the past several months, we've been working through this series from the ground up, rooting to rise, working through the feet. So we are going to do everyone's favorite in class. Now, having said that, if you're having any discomfort at all with Balasana, or if this knee flexion is tender for you, this is a great time to take your towel, roll it up all the way. You can keep it this length and this girth and put it between your knees. Okay, you can also, if you need a little extra, double it up, fold it in half, and stick it there under the bum. No matter what, you're going to come back down to a foot flexed Balasana or child's pose. So use whatever modifications you need with the towel. And this will get a little bit more intense, but I want you to remember this as home base. So at any point in the next little series that we're doing here on the floor, if something becomes too intense, if you're not able to stick with it for 5 breaths, because that's all I'm going to ask of you in each position, you can come back here. This is home base. So for now, with this foot flex, I want you to reach back there if you need to. Untuck even those pinky toes. Get them out from their sibling. It's like, you know, kids in the back of the car. She's in my space. Get those pinky toes out too. And I want you to, in your Balasana, in your child's pose, start to kind of push the floor away, sending your weight more into your hips, heavy into your feet. Feel that beautiful stretch. See if you can embrace it. You can drop the head if it's available to you. Taking a deep breath into the back. Let it go. Now, this is a variation, keep breathing, of lightning pose, because when we get into the depths of the feet here, trying to open up the outside and inside arches and the arch that goes across the foot, the transverse, it can be intense. You have 2 more breaths here. So try to breathe through it. A foot that becomes inflexible becomes knees and hips, and even ribs and shoulders that become inflexible. Now, your option here, everyone take a moment, come off the flexion, shake the ankles out. We're going to go to the next phase. If that phase was enough for you, we're going to just repeat it. You are. If you were like, okay, I've got that, I'm moving on to the next, then you're going to join me here. But we're all going to step back up right where we just were. Tuck those toes under, get all 5 of them free. Really feel that high stiletto feeling in the foot. And again, you can stay in Balasana, pushing the floor away, pushing your weight back into your feet for 5 more breaths, or you can walk your hands to your thighs. And you can sit your weight over your feet and breathe for 5 deep breaths. See if you can melt tension out of your shoulders. Keep your ribs over your hips. Breathe deeply into your back and even into your hips. Tension will want to mount, but a body in equilibrium requires less energy than a body constantly trying to stack itself and find symmetry. There was your last breath there. Now, you may come back down. Shake it off if you need to. Roll those ankles. We're almost there. 1 more round. But this time we're going to take it a little bit further. Now again, everybody sets back up in home base. Pinky toes Stretching the feet. I'm giving you little breaks because usually I can move right through these, but we're giving little breaks here. 5 breaths pushing back into the weight, or 5 breaths sitting over your feet, or clasp your hands in prayer, flip your hands, palms away, take your hands overhead, draw in your abdominal like you're in Uddiyana Bandha. Pull up, and we breathe, lifting the waist muscles up away from the hips, shoulders are down, however, and breathe. Three more breaths. The yoga of the mind and the body, breathing in. One more round. Hands come down. Hands come to the earth. If you're already in Balasana, that's fine. Just shift your weight enough to take the flexion out of your feet, letting the tops of your feet rest. Let the knees widen. You can still use that towel between your tailbone, your sits bones, and your heels if you need that to alleviate the pressure. And come on down to child's pose. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Another deep breath in and a deep breath out. Give me one more big breath here. Sighing it away. Coming up out of Balasana, making your way onto your back. We're so close. Taking a moment to roll on down. Now, it's your feet and your head, so if it feels good, you can take that towel roll. Just place it under the nape of your neck. If you're like, that's not my jam, Jamie, that's fine too. Just get rid of the towel, you don't need it. Maybe you even like it rolled up and placed under your knees. For some of you with lower back issues, a little bit of knee flexion can help your hips stay still and align and relieve pressure in the low back. Now close your eyes and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And allow all the tension in your body to go, and as you breathe, feel the vibration of the feet. And feel how you've created space there today. Know that, again, a body in alignment requires far less energy, and in fact can create a pure energy while in alignment, than a body that requires constant realigning. So embracing Shavasana, the floor acting as your plumb line to your spine, breathing in and breathing out. You may choose to remain here in Shavasana, sealing your practice for as long as you wish. Or at this time, perhaps you want to start to roll to your left side and make your way up. The choice is ultimately yours. You have the time that you need. If you're remaining in Shavasana, take your time. If you are departing with me now, take a beautiful breath in and a beautiful breath out, bringing hands to heart center. May this practice bring you sukha, joy, shanti, peace. Namaste.